everybody. Thanks for joining us today. My guest is Reyna Michelle, who is an entrepreneur, commercial real estate broker, and networking expert. Her experience extends into real estate investing and creating a life of adventure by developing her new real estate investing company and strong networking connections. Got your popcorn ready? Here we go with Reyna. I want to welcome Reyna Michelle to Geni's Way Show. Reyna is
Thank you so much.
Reyna is the networking guru and real estate expert. I'm so excited to have you on the show and share your expertise and your wisdom with the listeners, and welcome you to the show. Tell us a little bit about yourself. How did you get into real estate?
Awesome. Yeah. So thank you so much for having me. And yeah, happy to share with everybody. So, a little quick background about how I got into real estate. When I was a kid, I actually met somebody who was in real estate. So my hairdresser actually had a hair salon in her garage. And the garage was separate from the house. She had a tenant living in that house, and the family actually lived in a different house down the street. And I just thought that it was so cool that she, had a tenant living in her, her first home and was, collecting a monthly rent for basically, just owning the property. So I thought that was really awesome. And so I was really inspired to get into real estate from that. And yeah, I was probably about 10 years old when I got the real estate bug.
Oh, wow. Was your family, did your family knew about it? That you got excited about real estate when you were 10?
No, so they were not excited about it. They were definitely a little bit more traditional in the job expectations. So they certainly expected a traditional like W-2 type of job. So no, they were not on board initially.
Oh, wow. And that never changed for you since 10 years old? Because, as the kids, people growing up will say, oh, I want to be a pilot. Oh, I want to be a doctor. Oh, I want to be a nurse, attorney, architect. Did it ever change for you or not really?
There were definitely some other businesses that I was interested in. For a while, I did want to own a hair salon. For a while, I also wanted to own a pizza shop. I definitely always had that entrepreneurial mindset and wanted to have my own business and work for myself. Those also didn't really fit in like the box that I was like supposed to be in. So that was also not encouraged either. So I actually went to college for business management and got a traditional job managing retail stores. And I really didn't care for it. Having a traditional job just wasn't, it didn't fit in my box. So it just, wasn't a good fit for me. I was good at it. There were parts of the job that I did enjoy, but it just wasn't where I ultimately wanted to be.
How did it feel to have 9 to 5 job, and how did it feel to be outside of the box?
Yeah, so I definitely like being outside of the box a lot more than I did having the traditional job. I mean, sometimes a traditional job is great for certain people and, that's great for them. But for me personally, this is just the perfect fit for me.
Wow, that's cool. For some people you usually choose one way or the other. The interesting thing about for me is like I've done both. I think I'm kind of good at both, but I tend to feel like entrepreneurship is have a more creative side to it, and I feel like this is very interesting for a lot of people. But some people are just happy to have that 9 to 5, and that's why we have different people, different personality, and we need both, right?
Absolutely. Yep. Everybody fits into a puzzle kind of, and everybody is their own unique piece. They all have their individual part.
funny you say unique piece, because one of the things that I encourage people and want to continue to encourage people with this podcast that I'm creating is that the uniqueness is their superpower. So whether they excel in their 9 to 5, as long as they feel that they're contributing to society, or maybe they feel so bad in their 9 to 5 and they really need to get outside of the box, that's where we come as leaders and helping them to figure out how to do that. So speaking of that, what do you think would be the biggest thing for people that want to get outside of their 9 to 5? We kind of start looking toward creating their outside of the box solution. What do you think would be the first couple of keys where they should start looking?
I would say to start by doing some exploring. I would find some people maybe on social media or in some local networking groups that are doing something that you are, have an interest in getting involved in. And I would talk to them, ask them about their experiences, ask them what it's really like to be in that field. Maybe ask if you can even hang out with them for a day and see kind of what it's like to actually work that lifestyle for a day. But I would definitely encourage people to do their research and find out, what niche or what, job or, type of business they really want to get into. Because setting up a business, it is a lot of work and it's a commitment. And of course, if you get into it and you don't like it, you can always pivot or change or sell the business. But I would say the first step would be trying to make sure you've done enough research to know that you are going to love the business that you're getting into.
Yeah, because I've heard a lot from people there. They quit 9 to 5. They didn't realize that it may take them 80 hours to get where they wanted to be, and they weren't prepared for it. So being prepared and kind of have a plan where you want to go and kind of test it out, like you said, is probably an awesome plan. Yeah.
Yeah. And just talking with other entrepreneurs, that are in the business or in the field and asking them for their real honest feedback, not just the glitz and glamour of, working for yourself. For example, in real estate, we've got, HGTV that shows you how to flip a house and they explain, all the highlights like, oh, it's this easy. You only have these couple of expenses and you're good to go. But and then in real life, it's okay, well, how long did it actually take you to find that lead? What all were all of the other hidden costs and expenses? What was all of the time that actually went into this? When you're watching it on TV, it's all edited down to just the fun, exciting parts. So if you can sit down with somebody that's willing to actually go through and be honest with you and explain all of the not as glitzy and glamoury parts of the business so that you can get a real picture for what it's going to be like. Like you said, for example, you may be going from working 40 hours a week to working 80 hours a week, especially when you're first launching and you haven't hired staff yet. Having somebody that can really be honest with you about all of that. And, not that you shouldn't go for it, once you get all those details, but it's just that once you have that information, you can make a more informed decision.
Would you think would be helpful to have like a mentor, a coach that will been down the road and will be able to guide you depending what niche or the field you chosen once you finish your research or where you want to be?
Absolutely. I 100% recommend having a coach or a mentor or some kind of training or, a collaboration, a partnership, um, anything that you're, no business is ever really going to be successful all by yourself. Running a business, even if you are a solopreneur, it still takes a team. Like, for example, in real estate, we've got to have a inspectors team and contractors and attorneys and accountants, business advisors. So we've got to have, a whole team of people that helps us out, from marketing to all the different aspects of the business. So there isn't anybody that's really doing it 100% on their own. They're definitely working with these other types of partners that help their business. And so being able to connect with these people that are, in related similar fields, is definitely a huge advantage, especially if you could mentor with somebody and really learn the business from somebody that's been doing it. They can teach you what mistakes they've made. You can learn from those so you're not making those same mistakes yourself, and definitely get you started off on the right foot. I think mentorship and training and coaching is it's priceless. I mean, it can definitely catapult you way faster forward with way less mistakes in a much shorter time than you would ever be able to do it on your own.
And then, like you say, you get to learn from their mistakes so you won't have to do it. So it will save you at the end time, money, frustration, and beating your head against the wall saying, what am I doing wrong? When at the end, you're not really doing wrong. You just don't have the correct plan, which step to take next and next and next. So, yeah, that's very helpful.
Exactly. And I would say too, to even reach out to, supposed competitors, a lot of times, your supposed competition could actually really be your ally. Even if you are in the same business and doing the same thing, there's a whole world of clients out there. Like there's plenty of clients out there for everybody. Everybody is also going to have a tiny bit, little bit different niche or specialty that they're in. So even if you are doing similar things, it's still never going to be exactly the same thing. And you can really learn a lot from each other. You can share best practices, you can share resources, people, connections. So I would say that's also somebody to reach out to too, is somebody that may be perceived as competition could actually be one of your biggest allies.
That's gold right there. I really feel that is really gold because, especially when you start in the business, you might think, oh, I'm afraid of the competition. What if they get my clients? But that's not how it works. And I've heard some big gurus saying, and then it's your personality. You may be doing the same thing, but it's your personality, how you connect with someone. It's not the same like somebody else would connect, and they'll be happy to pass on the clients, or vice versa. What if it's that little niche specialty that you're not familiar, don't feel comfortable, pass on the clients? I think that's awesome what you just said. That's gold. And I know you collaborate with a lot of realtors yourself, correct?
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yes. I mean, there's typically another realtor working on the other side of the transaction. So you're going to be working with that person throughout the whole transaction. But there's so many other times to collaborate with realtors, whether you're sharing best practices or the latest industry updates. It's absolutely 100% need to collaborate with the people that are in your same industry for sure.
Hmm. So the key so far is get the mentor, get the coach, figure out what area you want to be in. But if you're already in the specialty area that you for some reason you don't like it, just pivot. Like we said, pivoting is okay. Try different things, and of course, build your team. Look at your potential competitors. They may be your best ally. You may become best friends and help each other out in more ways than you can ever imagine. That's awesome.
Exactly.
Yeah. What? How do you? I know. You. How long you been in Raleigh now? How do you like? What do you think about the real estate market in this area?
So I've been in Raleigh for about, I'd say 6 or 7 years now. I came from New York because it's freezing up there. They actually just got their first snow of the year. I think yesterday or the day before. So it's
You're not missing that, are you?
no, I'm not missing it. I was actually just jet skiing a day or two ago, so I'm very thankful to be here. But besides that, Raleigh is just it's a really great area. Personally, for me, I think it's so great because it's so diverse. There are people here from all over the world. And so, regardless of what business you're into or fun thing you're into or recreational activity, whatever it is that's your thing, you can find somebody here that's into the same thing as you. It's just so diverse here, and such a great kind of melting pot of all sorts of different types of people, that makes it really exciting place to be. And as far as the real estate market, we're really lucky to be here in Raleigh, especially right now. I know some of the markets around the country are starting to shift a little bit, especially with the rise in interest rates this year. That has made some markets start to shift a bit. As the interest rates go up, affordability becomes more challenging. And so there are certain markets where people just aren't able to move forward with making a purchase. And so things are starting to slow down. Here in Raleigh, we're fortunate, to be here and to be in such a strong market because of all of the colleges here, all of the medical here, all of the major companies that are here, and the high levels of education that we have here. It's a really just poppin' area, and there's still so many people that are moving here to the area that even with the challenges that are happening around the country, the demand for real estate here is so high that we have not really seen that affect pricing as much as other areas of the country. So very fortunate to be here doing real
Yeah.
estate in Raleigh.
Yeah, me too. I've been here about 20 years and I've seen a lot of changes over the last 20 years. It's grown tremendously and it changed the look of it changed too. Like there's a lot of new development and lots happening. You can pretty much do anything here, whatever your passion is. What speaking of passion, what is your passion? Is it jet ski?
Yes, I definitely do love jet skiing. Yeah, anything that, kind of gives me a good thrill, like driving a jet ski or a four-wheeler. But I definitely like to be in nature. So as much time as I can get at the lake, or out in nature parks, definitely try to get my daily dose of nature in for sure.
I think that's important to do something that fills you up as often as you can. For me, it's music. It's like I love Zumba. I like to go in the nature. Hiking is good. I like to see the beautiful nature and kind of connect myself as much as I can because that gives me the energy. So that's kind of
It
cool.
does. Yeah, re-energizes you, and it kind of gives you a sense of peace. Everything kind of just like melts away and all the stress is gone and you're
And
just
you just get to connect
oh,
and
yep,
and
and then you can get you're surrounded by all of these plants and all of their energy, and you can just absorb and get regrounded and kind of reset your mindset.
you heard it. You got to get regrounded and reconnected, especially if you are wearing too many hats as the business owners. Besides the networking, you have to make time for yourself. That's a big
Yeah,
deal.
absolutely. Yep, you can't pour from an empty cup, and in order to serve others best, you yourself has to be at your best. So, yes, part of being an entrepreneur is definitely making time for that self-care, for your hobbies, for rest. It's just as important as your mile-long to-do list. Those items also have to be on the to-do list because if you're not 100%, then what you're providing is also not going to be 100%. So, self-care, yes, definitely on the list.
Oh yeah, because if you don't have energy to deliver that excellent service, then you're going to be struggling. You need to have that energy so you can give. If you don't have what to give, it will be a challenge. I think a lot of business owners are forgetting that they have to take care of themselves, and it will eventually will catch up with them because the level of energy they're going to start feeling tired. They're not going to be able to be focused and accomplished. So it doesn't have to be that long. What do you say? An hour a day, maybe? What do you feel like?
Maybe, I mean, you could do an hour a day, but I would say at least minimum 15 minutes a day, even if you can just, go outside and stand in your yard for a few minutes. If you're not close to a nature park or if you don't have a lot of time, even to just be able to go and stand outside for a few minutes every day, maybe do some stretches, do something for yourself, whether it's, a meditation or, a prayer, whatever you're into, to kind of reground yourself, reconnect yourself with your vision and your purpose and how you want to show up best for the day.
Hmm. How do you start your day? Is that how you start your day with some meditation or some breathing exercising? Or how do you start your morning?
It definitely depends on the morning. So my schedule varies widely. Um, Sometimes I'm out, meeting clients first thing in the morning. Sometimes I'm out connecting with other colleagues or networking first thing in the morning. So it really just depends on my morning. There are certainly mornings when I'm just like up and, shower and out of the house. But yes, on mornings, if I have like a work from home day, or an office day, a work from the beach day.
I love that. Okay, more vote for more work on the beach day. Yes.
Yes. But yes, it's definitely helpful, and it does make a difference when you can start your day off with a few minutes to just kind of put your intention out there for the day and say, these are the things I'm going to accomplish today. Here's how I'm going to show up for the day. And it just starts your mindset off on a good direction for the rest of the day.
Intention for the day, that's important. No, some people say it at night. Some say it's the best thing to do in the morning. I think as long as you do it, whether at night or in the morning, and you have that vision of the day, how what the outcome of the day, you might not be able to accomplish everything, but most of it probably will happen. Wouldn't you think?
Yes. Yep, absolutely. I know some people do. I have heard that to do it at night as well because that helps with like your sleep. It helps you have like good dreams and more sound and restful sleep, to kind of get your mindset in the right place before sleep. And also a couple times throughout the day too, as our day goes on and we get a little distracted from what we had on our calendar, or how we had our time block set up, and as we can, get a little distracted from, maybe something happened and now we're a little flustered or upset, if you can take a few minutes throughout the day too to just have that couple peaceful minutes to just kind of reset and repurpose for the day. You can add little reminders on your calendar, so it'll just, be like a quick little reminder. You can spend 5 minutes to just do a little mindfulness and get right back to your day. But just start off with once a day, just start off in the morning once a day. Don't try to overwhelm yourself adding too many extra things. Just, try it once, see how it works, and then maybe add a few more times a day, and as you see how it works out.
Yeah, that was gold. It doesn't have to be anything long or anything crazy to start with. Just start with 5, 10 minutes. And then I like what you pointed out that if something happens during the day, you don't have to stay in that mode of negative energy or in frustration. Just take a few minutes, maybe go walk around the block or just go outside and take a few deep breaths. And it doesn't take long. You just need to get yourself a 5 minutes break and just kind of refresh your brain and just get back to it and say whatever it is. What I've noticed, what I will tell myself, whatever it is, it may be not what it looks from the surface. Maybe I just need to take a deep breath and just wait for more data, or maybe there's a different outcome from that circumstances that I'm not able to see while I'm frustrated. So those are a couple of things I found very helpful for me.
Absolutely. Yes. Always good to take a minute to just take a deep breath and, kind of reframe, because usually our initial reaction is, you know, um, it's not usually as bad as it seems at first.
I have seen it so many times. Like initially, I'm like, "Oh, this is bad," and then give it a little time. You maybe some another angle or something you didn't know, or you could potentially something even good come out of it that you could not never imagine it. So it's just all about that a different perspective, and to get into different perspective, you gotta remove yourself, and it doesn't take long, just a few minutes of deep breath, a couple of deep breaths, or get outside for a few minutes, change your position where you're sitting, just get your mind reset to a different mode and see what happens next, right?
That's right.
What's your keys for a successful networking? What do you think people need to work on if they want to be their best as a business owners? There's certainly need to be able to communicate with other people, like you mentioned earlier, and to build their team and build some collaborations. What would be the best technique for networking from your view, from your perspective?
Yeah, so networking is very, very important, for business. 'Cause like we were mentioning before, you're definitely going to want to have a lot of contacts in different fields that complement or that work with your business. So that way you've got your team set up. And also that way you're just sharing best practices and, the latest of what's going on in the industry. You could be sharing referrals with each other. So networking and, having that solid network is key to having a successful business. When people first go out and start networking, I definitely recommend that they go check out a lot of different groups. You can find groups on Facebook. There's a bunch of different Facebook groups, or you can just search events under networking. You can look in the Meetup app. There's events on Eventbrite. So there's tons of networking opportunities available, and there's a lot of different groups out there. And some of them are more structured than others. Some of them are free. Some of them have a cost associated with them. And I would definitely encourage people to just go and like try a whole bunch of them when you're first getting started with networking, and really see which groups you start to click with and the people in the groups that you start to click with. And once you've decided, how you got to get a feel for all the different groups, then you can narrow it down and say, okay, I really think like this group is more my vibe, or the people in this group are really more closely related to my type of business. And you can decide which groups you want to get more deeper with. So you start kind of more surfacey, like checking them all out. And then you want to get deep and specific with just a couple of groups. If it's impossible to do all of the things, and so you've got to pick and choose which ones you're going to do. And if you can show up more consistently at these groups, that's when you really start to build relationships with people. So sometimes people get the impression that they should show up at networking and walk away with like 4 deals. And if they didn't get that, then networking didn't work. And that is not how networking works. And that's not the purpose of it. The point of networking is to build relationships. And once you've built relationships with people, which takes time, which is why I say you've got to eventually pick just a couple of groups that you're going to go deep with and commit to going to all of the meetings regularly. And that way you can build relationships with the people in that group. And once you build relationships with people and they know, like, and trust you, they will send you business. And so it's the referrals that come in from these different groups, and that you may not necessarily be doing business with them directly. Um, for example, in a networking group, I may meet a roofer, and I personally don't need a roof, but I have clients that would need a roof. And so I will be referring business to them, even though I personally wouldn't be the one doing business with them, my clients would be. So that's why it's so important to really build these relationships, because people send business to people that they know and people they like and people that they trust. So
Mhm.
you've got to actually get these relationships built, and going out in person and putting in the time and the effort and just being genuine, just being yourself and talking to people about their business, getting to know how you can help them with their business
Mhm.
is going to be a big benefit. Because if you're just out there like, hey, here's my business, I'm great, send me some leads, and who's going to do that, right? It's got to be a two-way, mutually beneficial relationship. And so when you take an interest in other people's business or in other people's hobbies, and you're hearing about what they do for fun on the weekends, and how their kids are and that sort of thing, you really get to know somebody on a more deeper level. And that's when they're going to want to work with you and send their clients to you. And that's really the key to networking, is actually building those relationships.
That's gold right there. And you build a lot of relationship over the last 5, 7 years, right? You have a lot of
I have.
strong. Hmm.
Yes, I've got quite a big network from all of the networking that I've been doing since I've been in North Carolina. I've been a part of several different groups, and it's been just amazing. And honestly, that's how I've met a lot of my friends when I moved here, because, typically you become friends with people that you have similar interests with. And so if you're, surrounding yourself with entrepreneurs and people that have that kind of a mindset, a lot of times you kind of do like the things you do outside of work are also similar, whether you're um, going to different events, or maybe going to see some live music, or going to a show, or, going to a nature walk, or working out together. you end up establishing these relationships that really build into like genuine friendships. So it's really special and it's exciting to be able to get out there and make all of these great connections and meet really wonderful people.
Yeah, and there are a lot of wonderful people there. You just have to have an open mind and genuinely care about what they do, about their business. And then not everybody's going to be your friend. That, like you said, you have to go to different groups and figure out what vibes better with you, and kind of deepen down your relationship to down. What you say? Maybe three groups do you would go consistently or more?
I would say 2 to 3 groups, yeah, depending on how often they meet every month. I definitely would say there's gonna be a shift at some point too when you're first starting your business and first building all of these relationships. You'll be spending more time on networking and, building up your client base and your network. And eventually, as your business gets more momentum, you may find that you don't have as much time to spend on networking because now you're spending time servicing those clients that you've gotten. And so it will shift a bit. Like I said, initially, you'll visit all the groups and kind of get a feel for what's out there, then decide which ones you want to get deep with. And eventually, you'll, instead of going out and building a whole bunch of new relationships, you'll be going out and maintaining the relationships that you have. And like you were saying too, about learning about other people's businesses, generally caring about other people and their businesses and asking them, how can I help you? Who do you need to meet? Um, when you help other people get what they want, you end up getting what you want just naturally. It's just kind of how energy flows, how the universe works. When you put something good out there, good things come back to you. And when people see that you're out there helping other people, now they just naturally want to help you back. So it's really great to be able to pay it forward and see it all come back. And I've really seen some great um networking that's happened. For example, I had a colleague of mine that just randomly sent me a message one day and said, "Hey, just wanted to share this contact for this auto repair guy that I just had a great experience with." And I said, "Man, funny thing, I need to call a repair guy today. And my normal guy is out of town for the next 4 days, and I need
Wow.
this fixed like today." And so, I called him up and he came out to look at the car, had a really great experience with him. And next thing you know, I'm able to send him to a few people that I know. And so, because, one of my colleagues made one connection for that person, he ended up, it just kind of was a chain effect and it trickled down. And he ended up getting all of these other connections out of it.
Wow.
So it was really cool and exciting to just see, like, yeah, this is why we do this. Like, networking works and it's so great. Like, it worked out great for everybody. He got a bunch of new clients. I got my car fixed like exactly when I needed it. And it was perfect for everybody.
Win-win. Power of networking, isn't it? Mm.
That's right. Yep, absolutely. Another
Networking.
thing
Go ahead.
I was going to say one other thing to recommend too, for networking, if you're brand new to networking, is reach out to a friend or a colleague and invite them to come out to networking with you.
Cool.
Sometimes when you walk into a room full of strangers and, everybody's all, and sometimes people at these events already somewhat know each other a little bit. So people are already engaged in some conversations. And when you just kind of walk in the room and see all these people and zero of them, it can be a little intimidating, and sometimes that keeps people from actually going out and doing the networking. So I would definitely recommend bringing like a wing woman or a wingman with you, or reaching out to somebody like me or somebody else that's got a lot of experience with networking. You can see these people on social media, what they're up to, and just reach out and say, "Hey, can I come with you to a networking event?" So if you've got somebody there with you, it kind of takes that edge off a little bit. One other thing I'll say too is that whether you're new to networking or whether you've been doing it for 5 or 10 years and you're a pro, either way, you're still a lot of times walking into a room full of people that you don't know. So whether you're a pro or whether you're brand new, we're all kind of like in the same boat. And it's all, I mean, something awkward is probably going to happen at some point, whether you're a pro or whether you're new at it, because being in a room full of strangers that are all trying to get to know each other, sometimes it's a little bit awkward. I mean, it's a lot of fun too, don't get me wrong. And we have a great time together. But just know that, like, yes, those tiny little things will come up once in a while and they happen for everyone. So it's totally fine. It's no big deal. Just get out there and do it, and it's 100% worth it. And just grab a wing woman to come out with you.
That's an excellent point. I think I reach out to you. No, we met, we exchanged, and then I exchange information. Then I reach out to you. That's how I end up coming to North Raleigh Timber, because I said reach out to you and
Yes.
say, yeah, come on over. Because even me, I'm good with people most of the time. Even myself, I was kind of like, oh, I will feel better if I know that you will be there, and then you can just kind of, I can escape to you if I get kind of shy at any given moment, and it works out very well. You may feel good or maybe not, and that's when the moment you say, come to your friend or to come somebody who is one of the leaders of the group, say, help me out. I kind of feel out of place here. There-
Yes, absolutely. And just, yes, like you said, just ask for help. And everybody there is there to meet people and to help people. So everybody's more than willing to chat with you, give you a tip, introduce you to somebody else. It's a very like warm and friendly, inviting atmosphere. Everybody's there for the same thing, to grow our networks and make friends and build genuine relationships. So everybody is more than willing to help out.
So speaking of awkward moments, what was the most embarrassing moment of your networking the last 10 years?
Oh, that is a good question. Most embarrassing networking moment from the last few years. Hmm. Okay, so I guess one embarrassing moment from networking. There was an event I was really wanting to go to, that was downtown. So I had it on my calendar, and I get all ready for it and drive out there for it. And I show up at the event, and somehow I had messed up the time wrong on my calendar. And I showed up as the event was ending. And so I walk in as everybody's walking out, and they're all like, "Oh, were you here for this event?" I said, "Well, yeah, I intended to be. Obviously, I gotta, had a mix up with the calendar there, but." And people just, kind of laughed it off and said, "Hey, sorry we missed you. We'll come on out to the next one." So, it ended up not really being too big of a deal.
Well, just check. Another key factor: check your location and the time of the event.
Yes. Yes. Double check that you got it right on your calendar.
uh, Tell me about the most fun client you ever had, and why was the client most fun working with?
Hmm.
Client or clients, however many.
Yeah. I've had quite a few fun clients, so narrowing it down to the most fun one.
Two, fun too.
Yeah. Um, I've definitely had my share of fun clients, and sometimes too it's like their business specifically that makes it so fun. I've worked with a couple of especially retail clients that have
Mm.
some really unique businesses that do some really cool special things, and just being able to like really hear their stories and what they're passionate about makes it really fun for me, because when they're talking about building a business or hitting the next milestone in their business, expanding it, whatever it is that's causing them to need a new space. It's exciting. I mean, building a business and doing these things for yourself and for your family, it's exciting. And getting to hear that and like share in that joy with people is it's an honor, and it makes my job a lot of fun.
Yeah, it's building a new business is exciting because you feel that energy and that excitement of creation. I also feel this is so much fun. and then helping people, whatever role you're playing in helping people to create that business, is helping their family to get to that next level and create the legacy and feel good about themselves. So it's very exciting time to be able to support people on their journey of starting the business or getting that business to the next level. And it's always a puzzle, isn't it?
Yes, it is. Absolutely. Because everyone's in a different part of the process. Everyone has a different vision. And some people are more experienced or educated than others on the process of starting a business or expanding a business. And everybody's got their own kind of way of doing it as well. So getting to hear everyone's plans and their pain points and their questions, and then being able to turn around and say, oh, like I've got a person for that. I've got a person for that. And, being able to then tap into your own network and be able to share these connections and these resources that are going to be able to help them get to that next level. It's a special world to be in. You really get to help people change their lives.
Isn't that it's rewarding? That's how it feels to me. Rewarding. You feel like you're making a difference, doesn't it?
Absolutely. Absolutely. That's what it's all about.
What are you looking for next in your journey?
So next in my journey will hopefully be retirement.
No, you're too young for that. You like the action. I don't think you're ready for the retirement anytime soon.
Yeah, so I retirement definitely is in my plan in the next like 5 or so years, at least semi-retirement, where I'll be able to manage things remotely from my travels. Definitely looking forward to getting back to my national park days and just traveling around and things. So, next steps for the business, the commercial real estate business, that's going great, helping people there. I do have an investment business that I started this spring called Girl Next Door Properties, where we're buying houses and building out my portfolio basically. And so the plan with that is to be able to basically just grow my portfolio so that I have enough passive income coming in from these properties to be able to either hire a property manager or manage them remotely from afar while I'm out playing and exploring the world and having fun.
That's the best vision. Yeah, I love that. Creating something, building the life on your terms, like you building your life. You know how you want to see it, and you're working at it one step at a time, and you have a plan.
That's
That's
right. Yep.
that.
I definitely, yeah, I've got a clear vision for where I want to be. Before I moved to North Carolina, I was, not sure where I wanted to go. And so I turned my house into a duplex so that I would have, somebody paying my mortgage while I was gone exploring. And I still had half a house to come back to if I went back. And I just went around the country. I lived in my tent in national parks for like 3 months.
Wow.
And it was like the best 3 months of my life. I mean, I spent like no money. I paid for granola bars and gas. And I mean, it was just like total freedom. I mean, you just
Nice.
wake
Wow.
up, sun wakes you up in the morning and you hike all day and you explore. And it was just total freedom, having, no schedule, no itinerary where I had to be next. So I'm definitely looking forward to getting back to that. And if I can get some more rentals added to my portfolio, I'll be able to do that soon. And also, how I plan to make that happen is by teaching other people how to do that too.
Oh, cool.
So I'll be bringing some people onto my team. I'm actually have training later today for 2 new people that are being added to the team, and we'll all be working together to help build that portfolio. And so it gives me a little bit of leverage to be able to do that faster, being able to have other people working with me. And then for the people on the team, they're starting to learn about this business and how to do it themselves, so that they'll be able to build their own portfolios in the future as well. So super excited to like we were talking about earlier, when you help somebody else get what they want, you end up getting what you want in return. So if I'm able to teach these people how to do this, I'll end up acquiring more properties along the process as well. And everybody will get what they want. And we'll all get to go explore the world together. Woo!
Yay! Yes, that's an exciting vision you have, and it sounds like it's pretty clear for you exactly where you want to be now. When the moment you figured out that's exactly what you wanted to do, how did that make you feel?
Uh, Relieved, happy, confident. It made me feel a lot of different things. And sometimes we don't necessarily have it all planned out exactly how it's going to happen. Sometimes what we have is our end goal and where we'd like to be, and exactly how we're going to get there doesn't necessarily have to all be laid out. As long as we're working to be the best version of ourselves, then when the how comes along, we will be a match for that, and
Mm,
it will take us to our finish.
mm. Yeah, e- yeah, that's gold right there. Exactly how you may or may not know right away. You just need to
Right, exactly.
keep taking the very next step, right?
Yes, exactly. So you don't necessarily have the full thing mapped out, the how or the timeline for it. That's kind of up to the universe. Will make it happen the way it's all meant to. But just having yourself um, in a position where you're able to be a match for that when that opportunity does come in. So you're able to just, it's kind of almost like a surfer that's out there watching all the waves, and they're just out there waiting for the right wave to come along, right? And so you
So
can't
they
catch a wave if you're not out there floating in the waves, right? You've got to be out there and doing the work. Um, and making sure that you are being the best version of yourself, so you're ready for that. And so when that surfer's out there and that right wave comes along, they just hop it and ride it on.
right on. And it's also giving you sometimes you maybe need a little bit more preparation time or a little time to build your network or your partnership, your collaborations. So having a plan and kind of being ready for it, like you said, it keeps taking that next step and the next step. Almost reminding me like you a fisherman. If they're not there fishing, they're never gonna catch the fish, right?
Exactly, exactly. And also being able to be flexible, like I just explained my plan that after many years of having different plans,
Hmm.
I have now arrived at this plan. And I certainly expect that it probably won't go exactly as I have planned, because the only thing you can count on in his life is change, right? That's change is a constant in life, and you never know what may come along your way. So being flexible and being prepared for that okay, here's the plan that I have right now, but it's probably going to change. And, regardless of whether, something comes up and we need to pivot, or maybe we just learn something new, or maybe we decide we don't like something, so we want to kind of shift into a little bit different direction. Maybe we get an idea from somewhere else that we want to try and incorporate in.
Yeah,
So definitely knowing, even if you do have a plan, knowing in your mind it's still probably not going to go as according to the plan exactly,
yeah.
which is a good thing. For example, these last couple of years, we certainly all had to shift, whether it was in business,
Yeah,
our personal lives, we all had to change our plans. And it, we can't just sit there with our, hands on our hips and our stomping our feet on the ground like this is how it was supposed to go, because, um, then you're just going to be stuck in that cycle and that downward spiral of it not working out the way that you thought it would. When you know ahead of time, it's probably not going to work out the way you thought it would. And it'll probably work out better than you ever could have really imagined or planned.
exactly.
That's
Because
where you want to be flexible.
yeah, exactly, for sure. Because from the point where you're right now, you might not be able to see all the possibilities that out there. But how would you ever know the possibility if you're not going to get in the flow into that ocean of looking for possibilities and taking those steps and meeting the people and being open and flexible with your plan and saying, well, maybe that's not exactly how it needs to be. Perhaps there's something even better if I take this little angle, little detour, which I wasn't anticipating to be taking. You don't know. That's why I see it as an open adventure, as a journey that you have to kind of have to explore and see what's excite you, what feels better, and then if it doesn't feel good, then pick just what we started earlier. Well,
Yep.
I think it's kind of sums it up really nicely. You need to kind of feel and see the vision and how you want to go about just take the next and then see how it works out and then try a difference. Go ask for help, meet new people, create great relationship, keep going until you find vision, that's goal that makes you feel great.
That's right.
Well, what would you like to add? Is there something that you want our listeners to know and that you learned that you want them to know?
Um, I guess I would just say, for anyone who is thinking about becoming an entrepreneur, I'd say it's definitely worth exploring. It's certainly not for everyone. As much as I absolutely love it, it's certainly not for everyone, but it's absolutely worth exploring. Anything in life that you are, considering or thinking about, whether it's a job or a hobby, it's always worth at least finding out and taking that step, and you just never know what could come of it. So exploring is always worth it, absolutely. And always reach out to your friends and your colleagues as well too, because they're invaluable. The resources that they're able to provide, the support, the help, that your teammates, your network, your friends are able to give to you. It's priceless.
That's gold. Yeah, you just go out there, explore, meet great people, create great relationship, and be open for opportunity and test it out. That's all life is about. Test it out and create and see what happens next and keep creating and enjoying life and having fun. Don't forget to take care of yourself no matter what else is going on in your
That's
life.
right. And pay it forward. Always pay
Pay
it forward and
forward.
see
Give,
what you can do to help others, and it will come back to you.
give. That's awesome. Lots of wisdom there in our conversation today. I really appreciate your time. Tell us how we can connect with
Yeah, so feel free to reach out to me on my website, reynamichellerealty.com, or on all the social medias, Facebook, Instagram, and LinkedIn. You can find Reyna Michelle Realty and Girl Next Door Properties there. You can reach me by phone at 315-521-9561. And you can email me at reynamichellecr.com. And thank you so much for having me today too. I really appreciate the opportunity to be able to share with you and with the audience today. So thank you so much.
it was awesome. There's real estate expert and networking guru. Wisdom, words of wisdom from Reyna. It's lovely to have you. Appreciate your time.
You too. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Bye now. We'll talk soon. Bye-bye.
Bye.
So I've learned today how important networking is and with actual engagement. You know, members of your local community can help so much to enhance your life and business. So as long as you try to form strong relationships with them. Don't forget to like, subscribe, share your thoughts below, and keep the conversation alive. Until next time, keep the energy high, pursue your purpose, and make your mark. See you!